the place.
In the city centre, thousands flocked to a specially constructed temporary chapel. Inside, on the top floor, nobles and clergy solemnly gathered to take part in the display of the relics.
There was a sliver from the manger, for example, a tooth of John the Baptist, an arm bone of St. Anne. The very last of the relics to be displayed was the Holy Lance. It was the culmination.
Pilgrims would have been overwhelmed with awe. These were things which really brought them into contact with the supernatural. These were things that reassured them of the validity of their faith. This was a very serious event in anyone's life.
But the merchants of Nuremberg were less interested in saving people's souls than in emptying their pockets. Pilgrimage was big business.
Because relics were so important in the late Middle Ages, it was inevitable they'd be abused. We know that a traffic began to develop. See these relics, get to heaven quicker, but there is a fee. And inevitably there were many people who felt this was an abuse.
As attitudes changed, so did Nuremberg's fortunes. Protestant reformers, disgusted by the Catholic Church's exploitation of relics, rejected them wholesale.
And one of the results of the Reformation is the elimination of a whole series of practices and beliefs which kept certain towns and certain churches in business.
The scheme to make Nuremberg rich using the Holy Spear backfired, a casualty of the Reformation. The relic was locked in its silver chest and virtually forgotten for the next 300 years.
What will we get from it?
In the lab, Robert Feather has been joined by Professor Manfred Schreiner of Vienna's Academy of Fine Arts.
Method for different elements.
Yes.
Schreiner operates a highly specialized X-ray fluorescence machine, or XRF.
It's not a surprise. It gives us the opportunity to visualize the area of analysis.
The XRF analyzes the elements in the spear.
You see that there are several peaks.
And this is the iron peak here?
Yes.
So the iron is at what, about between 6 and 7 kV?
Yes.
The purity of the iron content, for example, will provide a clue to the century during which the weapon was made. The XRF reading for the nail prompts Feather to investigate further, using a high-powered binocular microscope. He thinks he's found something exceptional. Small fragments of iron different from the rest of the spear.
Unusual.
But until the XRF data is fully processed, he still can only guess about the spear's authenticity. Europe's conquerors had no such doubts. In 1805, Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of France, began to close in on the Holy Roman Empire. He wanted its lands and its relics for himself.
And you can understand why someone like Napoleon might want to gain control of it. There's no doubt that this sphere would have been seen by many people as establishing the legitimation of the person who possessed it.
To deny Napoleon the Holy Spear and other priceless relics, the people of Nuremberg hastily smuggled them out of their city. They eventually arrived in the capital of the Holy Roman Empire, Vienna. Though the spear escaped the clutches of Napoleon, the empire did not. In 1806, the last Holy Roman Emperor abdicated. The Holy Spear remained in Vienna, now capital of Austria, for nearly 150 years. Then, in 1938, another sought to claim it as his own. A new conqueror, Adolf Hitler. Nazis were fascinated by the occult. They indulged in spectacles celebrating the myths of the Aryan master race. And like all tyrants, Hitler coveted the trappings of power. So when the Third Reich invaded Austria in 1938, they stole the ancient relics of the Holy Roman Emperors, including the Holy Spear. The spear returned to Nuremberg, along with many other holy relics. Here, amid great fanfare, they were put on display.
They were guarded by members of the SS in their black uniforms. We know that Hitler saw the insignia regalia. The sole reason for this exhibition seems to have been to bring a continuity between the First Empire and the Third Empire.
Hitler's was the Third Reich, but the First Reich was that Holy Roman Empire. To be able to have possession of the spear that had inspired Charlemagne would have given Hitler an enormous propaganda victory.
Some claim Hitler's bond with the spear went far beyond needing it as a propaganda tool. They maintain that he only survived for 90 minutes after losing it to his enemies. But others still allege the US found a fake planted by the SS, and that the SS kept the real spear for themselves. Few people really know what happened in the tunnels beneath Nuremberg. One who does